Oh, well, it's a mystery wrapped inside a riddle, inside an enigma. Oh well, I'm sure if I look up a YouTube video, it'll tell me. But speaking of YouTube videos, yes, the Dimwits are at it again. If you go to the Dr. Freedom homepage on the post section, which was formerly the community section, um, yeah, I put up the latest thumbnail from the Rotten Canal. I love the fact that these guys, literally, these grand masters of journalism, as they think they are putting up this shit, and they know they can basically spout whatever the hell they want with no oversight, no fact checking, nothing. And it just really, really, I don't want to say, it kind of hurts me in a way, because if you didn't like the show so much, why did you watch it all this time? Other than, just to complain about it. Because, as I've told you all before, if I don't like something, I don't watch it. Like, I smelled the asshole light coming at 50 yards. I'm not kidding. It's like, and like I said, they lost me at Light Whip. Then when I saw the trailers for the new Star Trek series, oh, Starship Dysentery. The second I saw the second I saw the lens flares, I'm like, oh shit, I know where this is going. And then, of course, as I told you all, I found out exactly when it was set. And then I told my buddy, do you think they honestly set it in that particular time period, without thinking about sooner or later the Enterprise is going to show up? They're going to take advantage of every one of the original series storylines, or at least most of the good ones, to try to promote this piece of shit. And sure enough, they did. It was... like I said, the Rotten Canal, that was his latest thumbnail. There was another one by a guy who's like, way on the low end of the spectrum where I am. Proclaiming, yeah, Shooty's been fired. Shooty wasn't fired. Where are they getting that from? I don't think a doctor has been fired since I think they tried to fire Colin Baker. And remember when, Jody was quitting, Jody was leaving. And yes, I was once berated because I said on a cast that, this one guy has been saying Jody's been leaving since 2017. And it was the truth. I could even show him the videos where this guy was saying that. But the truth don't matter anymore. Wait a minute, who was invited on the TARDIS set that was doing R.I.P. Doctor Who? You see, that's what I can't stand. I've been a fan of this show since 83. The thing was, even if I was invited, I wouldn't be able to go because I don't have a passport. I've never... Plus, in order for me to go anywhere, that means I got to drag medications, a CPAP machine, and... Oh, yeah, she always gets invited because I'm not kidding. She must have pictures of somebody at the BBC or something like that with farm animals. Because I know I did find that disconcerting, yeah, because like I said, I don't have anything personal against the guys, but really, it's like you've been hating on the show, yet you're getting all these perks. Now, there could be a reason for that, and let me explain this very simply, because I've observed this happening with another series. Oh, Jesus, that's such an old joke. You think even my dad knew that one. All right, all right, that's right. I almost lost my train of thought because I was so stupid. But, okay. about a year or so ago, one of my favorite channels I watch as far as going for Fallout. They're all about, and I'm not kidding, this person is still making shit about Fallout games that are years old and making more money off Fallout, I think, than they do any other game or franchise they play or do the lore for. And I'm not going to, well, I'm glad, because Dr. Filming Locations, from what I've understood, is a very kind person. Like I said, I've never had any trouble with him, and I've talked to him private message. I told him about what they did to George Baker and shit like that back in the day. But okay, let's get back to my point. Well, this person was going on and on about how they're worried about this or worried about that, and then suddenly they got invited onto the set where they shot the city of Philly. They got to wander around this whole city of Philly that they used for Fallout Series 1. And sure enough, everything went glowing, everything come out roses, as Ethel Merman would sing. Everything. Now, of course, now they're at it again because of things that have gone on in the series with the lore and all that. It's like, guys, what? I don't care who you are. Lore is constantly changing. Just because the lore was this way when you were doing your videos does not mean it's going to stay that way. Now, there are certain changes to the canon I do not like in this last series, but I'm not going to go on about them forever. If I remember to mention them in tonight's review, I will. It's my left eye. Get it right. Maybe your video's on reverse. And for you folks who are coming in who are new, every now and then I get a twitch in this eye right here. And they don't know what's causing it. It could be one of my medications. Because I'm on, thyroid medication and stuff like that. What really sucks is when this eye will close. I've learned to drive with one eye because sometimes this eye will close for up to a minute or two at a time. It's fun doing it, though. Because then I think, hey, I'm Snake Plissken. All right, well, like I said, everything's up in the air at the moment. All right? Yeah, I quit interacting with a lot of the Star Trek fandom because of things that were going on in the fan club. It wasn't anything to do with the show. And don't get me wrong, there's a lot of great fans out there. A lot of the best people you'll ever meet are Star Trek fans and all that. It's just when you got into some of the fan clubs, I couldn't believe the fan club politics and shit like that. You still have a lot of toxic fans in any fandom these days, though. I know, I died laughing because Eccleston did say that. I thought I'd chuckle when I saw her face come up because it suddenly hit me. That's right, yeah. Eccleston said something like this about a while ago at a con. And sure enough, yeah, that clip is up everywhere. You got cream for helmet cheese. I got that skin for cheese. I got that for skin cheese. How about I give you a hobo's dick cheese? Quote from Les Grossman, Tropic Thunder. Okay. No, they just happen at random times. I don't even have to be, like I said, sometimes in the middle of the night it does it while I'm asleep. Okay, so no, I'm not kidding. I'll wake up and suddenly it does it. And there's whole days I go without it happening. So, but back onto the subject. So yeah, sure enough, they schmooze this big time. Great. All right, get back to where I was. All right, this guy was bad-mouthing Fallout. All of a sudden, he gets invited onto the set that they used to shoot the little city of Philly, the shantytown. Well, bam. All of a sudden, all the reviews are positive, blah, blah. And now they're doing it again. And I think they're hoping to get invited onto the new Vegas set and all that is what it is. And sometimes these fans do that. Because they know they're big influencers. They know they're going to get, if they act a certain way, they're going to get an invite. And then all of a sudden they turn into the most positive person on the planet Earth. And I think that's part of the reason why they do that. Because remember, a certain person, yeah, where were they during the Jody and Chibnall's era? They disappeared. Why? Because maybe it had something to do with their show got canned, their little sideshow. Also, weren't this, remember, this person is a big time fan of the show. Yeah. Remember, that little quote they had in Doctor Who magazine when they were part of the Time team? I watched the classic series on 1.5 speed for research. Yet they keep getting all these perks. They keep getting put on podcasts. Hopefully, I don't know. Maybe they're trying to grab certain members of a community. I don't know. Me, I don't expect anything. I don't demand anything because I'm under the radar. I'm not a big influencer. I don't kiss everybody's ass. I just tell you like it is. Okay, so as of now, like I said, we are in limbo. From what I'm being told, there's been no recommission of Doctor Who as yet. There's no word from Disney Plus as yet. And like I said, I wouldn't be the least bit surprised if Disney Plus doesn't hang out for the 28-day consolidated, where you get all the views put together in a repeated viewing over a month before they finally hear back from them. I started following Ian Levine again because some of the stuff he's saying these days does make sense. How could you sit there and promise the fandom there wasn't going to be any gap years when you knew at the end of 2 years you're going to be waiting for an evaluation? It's like, how could you sit there and promise there'll be no gap years knowing full well this was going to happen? And like I said, I think RTD's completely lost the plot. I really do. I think he's gone doolally. I think he's gone because this writing for this finale was nowhere near on par with the stuff he's given us before. You could say that. Jim Rockford, The Rockford Files. I grew up with that show. My dad loved that show, and I think my older brother loved that show. That's why I was on the TV all the time. Yes, back before we had these little things where we could watch when we wanted to watch it and all that, you were stuck watching what everyone else was watching. My life was hell. My sister was a fan of Little House on the frickin' Prairie. I had to watch it, whether I liked to or not. I kept thinking the whole time I'm watching this show, how are these people so frickin' clean? They're living out in the frontier. Where are they taking dumps? How come none of them have kicked over from cholera or diphtheria or dysentery yet? Oh, sorry. Ugh. Because I remember the show began with, James Garner. The answering machine playing it. This is Jim Rockford. I'll get back to you or something. And then it had the big opening message. I remember that. The Rockford Files. See, it's doing it again. I'm not even thinking about anything. But like I said, they think it's a side effect of my medications. That's what, see, look, it's going to do the 1 minute thing. Look at this. That's not a Twitch, dude. It does this on and off. I'm not kidding. It doesn't do it. Sometimes it doesn't do it for days. What really sucks is when I'm going to sleep and you wear a CPAP mask and it does this. And you have to wait for your face to finally stop and then maybe you fall asleep. Oh, well. But enough of that. As of right now, we're in limbo. The BBC is in talks. They've not canceled it, but they've not recommissioned Doctor Who yet. There's been no word from Disney Plus, and I expect there probably won't be any word from Disney Plus If we get a word from Disney Plus this week with when the plus 7s are in, I'll be shocked. But I wouldn't be the least bit surprised if they wait for the plus 28s. In which you get the full month of repeated viewing, and then you get the numbers from that before Disney makes a decision. But keep in mind, the reason why Disney gave them a 2-year thing, this is not unusual. That's how shows like Babylon 5 and all that started out. You get a 2-year to start, and if you're still doing good, then we'll hang on to you. You know, I agree with Ian Levine. I do believe J. Michael Straczynski should write Doctor Who. But would he put up with the insanity? Oh, well. I've been watching the time. I have got to get going because I try to keep these around 15 minutes because I have to get inside and go to work. So, everybody, please. Yeah, we are working tomorrow. Thanks for the reminder. Yeah, thank you, Mark. Reminder, yes, we are here tomorrow. There's been no words of cancel tomorrow. Plus, yesterday they sent us home at 4 hours due to a major mechanical malfunction, which happens once in a blue moon these days. And we'll see you tonight on the Omega Files. We're going to go live around 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we're going to review the series finale. And oh boy, that's going to be a hoot. Take care, everyone. I'm running inside. Be kind, be calm, be safe. Enjoy your weekends. Catch you later, guys. Catch you on the flip side.